I'm going to attempt to walk across this random county in the United States in a perfectly straight line. Here's why. I've been a huge fan of the YouTube channel GeoWizard for years now. My brother introduced me to some of his earliest content. We were there for his very first world record attempts, high score runs, and speed runs.
Back, look there. So we're there. Come on. Yes. Whew. Oh my god, that was an ordeal and a half.
And it was electric. I had kind of fallen away from watching him for a few years, but when I came back, he was doing a bunch of IRL content, and it was amazing. My personal favorites were always his straight line mission attempts. I would just sit and watch them for hours, and it wasted so much time of my college years. Since graduating, I landed a sick engineering job at the almighty megacorp Textron. Yes, that's the real company's name, which I could not come up with a better name in that category if I tried, but they actually do some pretty cool stuff, and I like working for them. I sold my soul and my morals for the paycheck and never looked back. But a big change that I was warned about that I never really took too seriously was that I just feel dead inside after working 9 hours in a windowless cubicle. And it kind of sucks. I really shouldn't complain because I really do love my work, but the 9 to 5 life is just draining. There's no way around it. There are days that I feel like I'm 45 years old and I haven't even turned 25 yet. I recently got back from a trip to Iceland and it was beautiful there. I mean, I was seeing some crazy stuff that I'd never imagined I'd be able to see. It was a blast. And while there's definitely nothing of that scale here in the US, there is some pretty awesome stuff right in my backyard in Pennsylvania, where I was born and raised, spent my whole life here. And that really inspired me to just go outside more and explore more and see more of what is right around me. The cherry on top was, as I was unpacking from that trip, I put on a Magnus Mitbo, I think that's how you say his name, YouTube video, and it happened to be a straight line mission. It was a really great video. Highly recommend you watch it. I know he doesn't need my promo, but there you go. And it was actually kind of inspiring to me. It was while I was watching that video that I realized I can just go out and do that. I don't need to wait on anything. I can just go outside and have fun. And now is the perfect time to do it. It's gonna be a beautiful, 90 some degrees with a UV of 11. Oh well, I can't put it off any longer. Now, when comparing what I'm gonna do to what GeoWizard and Magnus did, I feel a little embarrassed. My route is pretty wimpy and a little short, but I was trying to just get something that I could do in a single day and wouldn't take up, a whole bunch of time. As for the planning process for it, it was surprisingly easy. I just downloaded Google Earth Pro and plopped down a straight line in an area I was familiar with. There are a couple concerns that I have with it though. First off, most of the places that these straight line missions are being done is in the UK, where the worst thing that happens if you get caught trespassing is a few stern words from some not so nice farmers. Over here in what the heck is a kilometer land, things can escalate a little more quickly. If you wind up on the wrong person's lawn, you can get an expedited shipping label to the doorstep of heaven. So not trying to have that happen. And that is totally an overused stereotype of America. I'm really not that concerned, but it is something that I should be paying attention to. For that reason, I picked a route that was going to be on other people's land as little as possible. Most of my time is going to be spent bushwhacking and skirting the edges of fields and going through the not super dense forest of PA. The only other major issue had to do with crossing the highway. Unfortunately, in the US, everything is very car focused as far as transportation goes, so crossing roads is inevitable. And unfortunately, in the area that I was trying to go in, there is a highway that would be impossible to avoid that I'm gonna have to run across. Now, the issue is there's a median that travels the whole road, and the road itself is very windy and goes up and down over a lot of hills. Luckily, I was able to find a spot that's pretty open and straight in both directions, so I should be able to time it right and see when there's a break in the traffic. But once I get over the median and past the road, there's my last big obstacle, which is a pretty steep rock face. I should be able to skirt around the sides of it without going too far from my line, but I think I'm gonna have to do some climbing, which does concern me a little bit. To track the path I'm taking, I have my Fitbit that is gonna be recording my GPS location, and I'll be using my phone for mapping. So I'm gonna have another app running, trying to track my general location, have a little bit of, two-factor authentication with the line. So if one of them fails, hopefully the other one will be able to kind of pick up that lost information. Now, the scoring for a straight line mission is done in zones. You get 25 meters for the platinum medal, 50 meters on either side of the line for gold, 75 meters on either side of the line for silver, and 100 meters is bronze. I will be a little bit disappointed if I don't get at least gold, but the equipment I have for it today is pretty rudimentary, so I'm not going to be killing myself for it. I'm just going to do my best to keep my little blue dot on the straight line for as much of the path as I can. I think all that's left to do is to just go get it done. So without further ado, welcome to the straight line mission across Union County. Let's go, baby! I got everything laid out. Here's the packing list. We got extra batteries, extra cage for the camera, big knife, small knife, head mount, chest mount, selfie stick, wallet, and water. I'm going to be throwing all these things in my backpack, and then I'm hitting the road. The mission starts right across this bridge, so just got to get over here, and then I'll be crossing the county line. There she is. It's a little bright, but we're here. We are at the starting line. I'm going to set up my rig, get everything going on my phone, and then we're gonna get ready to get this mission over with. Let's do it. And get back packed up. Ooh, great night's sleep. There we go. Gotta wait for the GPS to connect. All right, and then I need Google Earth. Straight line mission. Technically this has me starting under the bridge. I think I'm going to meet up with the line right up there. Unfortunately I can't see my heading on here, like I don't know which direction I'm facing, so I'm just going to have to try to kind of guess and check. But I guess to get to the technical starting point, we're going to have to go through this, which is a little thicker than I thought. I'm not sure how this is going to go. Let's give it a shot. All right. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the straight line mission. A little bit of a rough start. Getting to the starting point was much more of a headache than I had anticipated, but luckily it didn't take me too long to get there and officially get started. Definitely was a little bit awkward though. Could have maybe planned this a little bit better, which may or may not be a recurring theme throughout the entire video. Unfortunately, I rushed the planning process a little bit, and there were times that I paid for it. Alright, well, I just took the hardest way possible to get here, but I believe I'm getting a little closer. There we go, this is what I envisioned it being more like. Let's see how close we can get to this starting point here. Oh yeah, I'm getting there. I'm pretty comfortable with this right here. Pretty close within the margin of error. So now I'm going to turn this way and start going and see where we end up. Let's do it. As I began this ambitious journey with wide-eyed optimism, my path was rather clear. The boggy section of Earth I was traversing was easy enough to navigate and gave me high hopes for the rest of the adventure. I was just glad to be outside exploring places I've driven past countless times, but have never gotten to see firsthand until this moment. The spiders and bugs were definitely plentiful, but none of that was surprising to me. My mind was definitely occupied with the upcoming challenges posed by the large open fields and imposing rock walls I would have to scale. But little did I know there would be other challenges in between those that were unforeseen. But at this time, I was content to try to make quick time and quick work of these first few 100 yards before the going got any tougher. Looks like this was all flooded here relatively recently. Super muddy. Even on all the leaves and such. Let's check the line real quick. Oh yeah. Right on target. Oh. Woo, another big cobweb. Look at this little guy. Oh. Sorry, I jumped. I thought that was something coming in for me. Oh. Watch your step. All right. Also, this does pain me a little bit because I used to be a Boy Scout. Ugh. And actually got my Eagle Scout, which was kind of fun. Yeah. And one thing they teach you is leave no trace, which is funny in light of my name. Got a lot of jokes about that, but also was a good lesson because you don't want to leave things worse than you found them. Like trampling over a bunch of vegetation. Really, probably best to avoid that. However, I don't feel quite as bad because I also learned in Boy Scouts that this is primarily, I believe, like Chinese milkweed or Japanese milkweed or some sort of something. Basically, all of this green that you see here is an invasive species, and it's really not good for the native environment because, oh, look at that little guy, little toad hopping around. It's really not good for the local environment because nothing else can grow. It just grows so rapidly, blocks out all the sun from other plant life. Here we are, looking pretty good. And that is not a good thing because then, they can't grow. They can't reproduce like they normally would. This is a little bit sketchy here. I might just walk around this. Just a little 5-10 meter diversion. Nothing to be too worked up over. But basically all that to say, if this were other plant life, I'd be a little more cautious. But because it's an invasive species, even this, I believe, is a different one called Japanese stiltweed, and that's invasive too. So kind of sad to see that all of the local vegetation is just being completely swamped over by all this invasive stuff. So that's why I don't feel too bad. Getting off course a little bit here. Let's go back over here. It looked like on the maps I might have to take a bit of a wider diversion at points because it appeared as if there is some water growing. Now, this is a little bit unfortunate because I was hoping my pace would be a little better. So I might start not running, maybe jogging, speed walking through the sections once we get a little more clear. But there will be a lot of more bushwhacking ahead, which I'm a little bit scared of. Oh, keep whacking the camera trying to get cobwebs off my face, so sorry about that. And we're dancing around the line here. Oh, that's a cute little bug. Let's see if we can't get back a little more on course. All right, something like this, I suppose. But I'm also not looking at my phone the entire time because I didn't think to charge it overnight, so it only got up to 80% when I left, and the whole thing would be kind of a dud if my phone dies. And of course I have a portable charger, but I forgot it at a place that we stayed at after we got back from Iceland, so don't quite have that. But we're making pretty decent time. Ooh, that was very muddy. And we're doing pretty well on the line so far. So, can't complain too much. But this is more of this boring walk. So, I'll cut back once I get to something interesting. Well, here's something interesting. There's some ducks in here. Sound like a person up there too. Anyway, this is one of the sections I was scared of. I don't know if you can see on the map, but I could see this water right here. I was hoping it'd be dried out, but clearly there's a lot of water right here. I might be able to cross up top here, but otherwise I'm gonna have to go all the way back and try to get around it, which would dock me a couple points probably, but we'll see where I can get to. Even this is a pain to get around, holy cow. Yeah, there might be a spot up there I can cross. Let me see here. Woo! Sketchy. Another sketchy one. Alright. Let's get up here and see what's going on. It's looking somewhat hopeful. Yeah, I should be able to cross this. Whoa. It is so muddy and slippery. It's astonishing. All right. Let's see here. This is cute. Let's see how far off. Okay, not too bad. This is better than if we went back, I do believe. Ooh. Oh, it's kind of pretty. All right, so now we're gonna come up here on this ridge, and oh, if I don't die first, there should be a field up here. Ah, dick. Well, let's see how far out of the way going around would be. Looks like I can get around with the 20-meter thing, but the next one I'm gonna have to trek through a little bit, so hopefully that's not an issue, but we'll have to see. Okay, looks like I can even walk around all this brush without going outside the zones. That's nice. Uh-oh. We might be getting into some trouble up here. There's a trailer park down there, which I'm not too fond of. My biggest issue is I don't want any of the owners to potentially be down there, because that would be a pretty rough look. But I think my path is going to be pretty much straight right here in the wide open field with a bunch of good old boys in their trailers down there. So I'm just going to go for it and hope for the best. Let's see. This is really freaking dense. right here. Oh, this is way worse than I thought it would be. Dang. It was at this moment I started to realize the trip might not be as straightforward as I had imagined. Due to impulsivity, arrogance, and poor planning, I had not realized just how dense some of the brush around these regions could be. I had neither the time necessary nor the correct gear to make this any easier on myself. Apart from a fair pair of hiking shoes, I'd chosen just about the worst outfit I could have. It offered very little breathability through my cotton t-shirt, which quickly became a drenched rag in the high humidity of central PA. My pants weren't the worst option available, although they were very thin, and I would find myself caught in many more thorns and thistles than I would have ever imagined in this region of the world. My previous experiences hiking in higher altitudes on the Appalachian Mountains gave me a faulty understanding of the reality along the riverbed areas. These lower parts were so much more dense and nasty than I would have ever dreamt of. We've gone 3/4 of a mile in like 45 minutes or so. Or 30 minutes, actually. I forgot to bring my gloves too. Dang, that would make this easier as well. Another fact that would come back to bite me would have to do with this little plant right here. Toxicodendron radicans, better known as poison ivy. This was an extremely humbling experience for myself in many ways. Not only did I discover how little I knew about the plant life in my own home state, I also found out something I'd believed my entire life that may just have been a complete lie. During all the hours I spent outside throughout my childhood, I had gotten a rash from poison ivy a grand total of 0 times. Considering the fact many of my peers would get bad cases of it on the same hiking ventures I was on, made me believe I was immune. And maybe that was true, as I had on more than one occasion purposefully exposed myself to the plant to prove my superior genetics to those that had to avoid it like the plague that it is. However, something tragic would become clear at the end of this adventure. I am no longer immune to poison ivy in the slightest. But at the time of recording this, I was blissfully unaware, and my journey would continue to progress as if nothing were awry. That one almost got me good. I do not appreciate that. Alright, let's see here. Bleh. I made it through. And we're pretty close to the line. Alright. That was definitely the roughest foliage or anything we've had yet, so not so fun. Alright. This is probably going to be more of the same. I can already see a bunch of thorns, so if anything exciting happens, I'll turn the camera back on, but I'm going to save some battery. That, unfortunately, is the end of today's episode. Be sure to tune in next time for the treacherous crossing of Route 15, along with the very scary rock wall that I have to climb, which, without exaggeration, could have potentially been life-altering to say the least. And you'll see at the end that maybe things don't quite go as we expect them to. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in for this one. If you look forward to the next episode, be sure to subscribe. If you liked this content, maybe leave me a like. And I'm sure there will be lots of constructive criticism in the comments, so I look forward to reading that and growing and making better decisions in future missions. So your time is very valued, and thank you so much. God bless you all. Peace out.